Hello and welcome to our last video in our painting guide for this sexy Chaplain on bike. Today we're going to be working on the non-metallic gold and all the remaining details left, such as the silvers and a couple more things. I already taken the liberty to base coat the gold with the same recipe I mentioned in the previous guides. English uniform plus black ink from Aerocolor plus anthracite gray from AK-75 to create a sort of a greenish dark ochre. As you can see on the model, it's a very dark greenish ochre, and this will be our shadow, and it's also our base coat. So from now, we just need to highlight. The color I'm going to be using to start and create the real base coat of the model is orange brown from Vallejo Model Color. I'll show you the pot so you can see it. Orange brown from Vallejo Model Color. And we're going to be adding our orange brown. Let me just get the model fixed on the thing if I can. Okay. We're going to be adding our orange brown to our original base coat mix in a kind of a big quantity though, like this. And we're going to place it in all of the areas where we feel like our gold shouldn't be in shadow. And of course, these areas will be matching with the color, with the highlighting we have done on the armor itself. Because if the light is hitting the leg here, it should also hit the leg in the other places too. So we're just following along our previously done highlighting, placing this color everywhere there is light. Everything the light touches needs to be highlighted. You know, the famous scene from The Lion King, where Mufasa teaches about highlighting to Simba. Very pivotal moment. So anyway, Okay. With this done, we have sketched in our first volume of light, which would be like sort of a second shadow or a midtone. We can use our pure orange-brown this time to sketch in the actual midtone. So we're going to be carefully painting our orange-brown. Inside of the area of the previous highlight. Okay, with this step completed, we can either blend or we can move on and then blend at the very end. You already saw me blend quite a lot on this paint job, so considering that you know what I'm gonna be doing, I think we can move on and just keep highlighting. I'm gonna be picking up lemon yellow from Reaper, and I'm gonna be using this lemon yellow to start creating some really strong highlights into this mix. So we can mix lemon yellow with a bit of our orange, and we can use this color to highlight again inside the previous highlight, trying to focus this time onto the area hit by the light a bit more directly. Okay, give me a few minutes while I try to get full coverage out of these highlights, because it didn't cover fully well, so I'm gonna have to do a couple more layers, and we'll be back and working on the rest of the model. Okay, and we're back with our model, uh, fully covered in the last highlight we did, and that means we can move on to the next and last highlight by creating a mix of the lemon yellow from Reaper and the ivory from Vallejo model color. We can get an extremely bright highlight, which we can go and paint. This is a bit too bright, maybe. Which we can go and paint in the edges, as well as the areas where we think light would really gleam strongly onto the model. So, for example, here. This is going to be our last highlight on the gold. We're going to keep it small because we don't want to make it look like it's a fake thing, but we want it to look like light is really hitting this model and it's really making it gleam. Okay. I am keeping the back view darker because I want it to look like a shadow. In order to make it dark but not too dark and look unpainted, we can create a mix of lemon yellow and a bit of orange brown and use that mix to do the edge lights on this area here. So we're gonna still have an highlight, just not as bright as the main one. It's gonna feel slightly colder this way. I feel like we can move to the silver, so let's do that. There's not much silver on this model, but we need to paint it. I'm gonna be using the anthracite gray, adding a bit of ivory to it and a bit of black to create a grayer tone, like this. And I'm gonna be base coating all of the silver elements on the model, which are mostly on the backpack. We have a belt buckle here to paint. It's very hidden, but we gotta paint it. Okay, we're good. We can add a bit of ivory to it to highlight. So a little bit of ivory to create our highlight mix, which we're gonna be adding onto the model like this. And with more white added to the mix, we can do one more highlight. Bit more white. And with pure ivory, we can do the tips of these spikes. And basically highlight all of the little dots around the model. Like, for example, here on the chest. Okay. We can, of course, blend, creating various in-between mix of colors to, if we feel like we didn't get quite as good as a blend as we wanted, and place it there between the two colors. Next up, we have the leather. I'm gonna be using full red from Vallejo model color. I want a reddish leather effect. We're gonna be using it as a base coat to our leathers. We can also use this color to base coat the sigils of purity on the shoulders. I'm leaving the left shoulder unpainted because I will be giving away this model on my Twitch channel. So I will let the winner choose which chapter this guy is from. Everything else is. Okay. Okay, we can add a little bit of sunny skin tone to our red to create an edgelite or an highlight to our leather. I am wet blending it at the moment. You can choose to wet blend it or layer it on, up to you really. If I can, I wet blend usually, because it is the fastest way to achieve completion, especially on small details like this. When you just don't have the space to do many elaborate things on, wet blending will give you a good result quickly. Okay. We can use burnt red from AK third gen. Any dark red you have will do for this. And we're gonna base coat the handle of the weapon. I actually want to make this color a bit darker, so I'm going to be adding some of the black ink to this. It also is going to flow better off of the brush. It's going to give me more of a fluid approach to this, which is going to fall in the recesses and shade nicely. Okay, while that dries, we can use the red, the pure red, to paint in the eyes. And while that also dries, we can use our anthracite gray with a little bit of white added to it and do the highlighting of these things, which I still don't know how they're called. Yeah. We can also do the highlight of the tubes on the face. This color here. And of course, we gotta paint the silver plates on the face, on the side of the head. So we're gonna base coat them in a dark gray. And then with pure ivory, we're gonna just edge highlight them. Doing this will ensure that we have a lot of contrast in this area, which we need to create a focal point. Okay. We can use the pure red to overbrush, which is, we're going to be using the side of the brush and gently, very gently, move it across so that it picks out only the areas in relief. Like this. And I think we are pretty much done when it comes to our guide. I have a few details to work on and clean up. I have to paint the rosary, for example, and very, very small stuff. But you have already seen the recipes I'm going to be using on this model, so I think I can work on this on my own. The only thing I want to do, though, is I want to use this very bright yellow white that we have used to highlight the gold. I want to thin it, and I want to gently glaze it onto the head to create more contrast on the face, because I think that our face is missing a bit of contrast, and I would like to create more. Just a bit more contrast so that it and actually I completely forgot, but we gotta do the eyes. So I'm gonna be using the red. I'm gonna be adding a lot actually of this yellow, and we're gonna be painting the eyes. I need a very luminous color. That's why I'm adding yellow. And while this is drying, we can pick up some white and put it on the corner of the eye. To make the eyes look like lenses. Like this. Okay. Fairly happy overall. I think I like this model. Yeah, just a bit of cleanup here and there, but overall we're done. We can work on the asphalt, although to be honest, these looks already like asphalt to me. So I don't really feel like I need to do any work on it, but yeah, I don't feel like we need to do any work on it. Maybe give it a glaze. Yeah, let's give it a bit of a glaze with our black ink to make it darker in the recesses, to create some changes of tones, like random changes of tones. So like this, you can see I am painting the color in kind of randomly without thinking too much about coverage. I just want to create like the idea of little bumps and changes in the texture of the asphalt, so it doesn't look as regular. But overall, I am pretty happy with this. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna be cleaning up the model and calling it done. So you guys will be seeing the absolutely finished version of this model in the thumbnail of the video, as well as in a picture in the PDF guide. But yeah, we're done. Thank you all so much for following this series of guides. I apologize if it took me this long to upload these guides. It's because I had another model in mind and I had to scramble to get another one, because I still haven't gotten the model, and it's the 26th of January. I still haven't gotten the model I needed, but I was waiting for it. It didn't arrive, so I had to scramble and come up with another model to paint. So I am sorry if it was so late, the uploading of these guides, but you know, you have them. You still have all of the guides before the end of the month, as promised. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being part of the Patreon. I wish you all a fantastic day. Take care of yourselves.